Hello, welcome back to the Pedman Car Sports Show presented by Prospect Apparel. Today, I am joined by a very special guest. It is the Eddie Law from Cage Side Press. How you doing, my friend?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Just getting back. I don't know if you ever take like a weekend trips, but they're like I call
Mm,
them vacation previews. Except the feeling you get when you get back from either one sucks because not you know getting back to regular life and you're
yeah.
just dragging. So I'm dragging a little bit, but no, I'm good to go, dude. I'm a morning guy, so it's what it
It's,
is.
it's the worst thing after a journalist trip. You live the high, you live the dream,
Yeah.
and you're back in the kitchen at 5 a.m. making croissants. It's like you just it's the worst.
I can hear your pain in your voice. No, I get the
Because
same thing. My wife.
I worked five in a
Yeah,
row already. I've got four left.
so funny, dude. No, my wife gets mad at me because like she knows, like I tell her, hey, I'm covering so and so car. I'm be gone for the week. I'll be back on Sunday morning, and she's just like, oh, okay. And like her voice changes like throughout the week. When I talk to her on the phone, I call I FaceTime, talk to my kids, talk to my wife and everything. And on Saturday morning before I head to the venue to cover the fight night, it's like you could just tell her tone because she knows come Sunday, I'm gonna be that like, God damn, this fucking sucks. Like, because I just be like, like you just say things, you get this high of highs. You're in there talking to professional athletes, you're this like crazy, fight week. And even if it's like a fight night, even at the Apex, like I've covered plenty of Apex cards. I still get the same feeling as if I'm going to pay-per-view. It's a huge deal to me. So I get home and I'm just like, I gotta go back to office shit on Monday and
Mm,
clocking in and out and trying to work, mind you, a friend who doesn't know, run Cape Side Press. So with a wonderful, wonderful team, especially my main man Jay Anderson as my editor. So uh it's this, what I do for a full time, plus the site. For anyone that hasn't run a site like this before and have a team, it's also a full-time job, plus being a parent
yeah.
and still trying to train and all that. So it's like going on these like short trips, getting back on a Monday, it's like going from 0 and 100 immediately. You blew your engine. So I'll
Yeah.
be sleeping pretty good tonight, I'll tell you that much.
I love it, man. Those Apex events look fun. I think before the Apex
Yeah.
officially goes away forever, I'll have to try and find a way to get out to at least one. But the most recent one I was at was which kind of had an Apexy feel to it was the event in Amsterdam. I think it was like
Mm-hmm.
1,000 people in the arena.
Mm-hmm.
So you could hear
Damn.
all the coaches, and where I was sat like right cage side. The coaches were in front of me, and the commentary team was right in front of me. So I
Mm-hmm.
got a really cool like audio kind of thing. But then I was right at the cage as well, so that was really really cool.
No, I told you. You did the was that Octagon? The last one you did was an Octagon card,
That
right?
was LFL.
LFL, right?
Octagon does like 20,000 person arenas. Those are crazy.
Oh, okay. No, those are Octagon cards. I think I caught probably like my third. I don't remember when. I think I saw a replay of the last one like a few nights, like the other night when I was like wide awake.
Yeah,
And their presentation is pretty damn good. Like I was,
it's really
a
good,
lot of
man.
people, don't give these other promotions a chance. Like people always tell me like, oh, it's Bellator. You're gonna go cover Bellator. I'm like, go to a Bellator card, please. First of all, tickets weren't expensive. You can go to a Bellator card way cheaper than
Well,
go to
I
a
had
UFC
like
card.
front row seats for 55 euro in Milan. It was awesome.
Exactly. So yeah, I always told people like go check out a Bellator card. The presentation inside is phenomenal. Catch you one championship in Denver this first time around. I can't wait to go back in November. But there's one championship card in Denver this last year. Presentation in arena on fight night, phenomenal. Like people are just if you want to take like, again, the UFC is great. Don't get me wrong, right? They are
Yeah,
great.
100%.
But presentation wise, like in arena, when you're live at the fights, like these promotions put on a show, definitely people need to give those other promotions a shot for sure. But I was impressed
Octagon,
with Octagon.
KSW,
I
all
was
those
impressed with
shows.
Octagon. KSW, what I like
Octagon,
about KSW, dude, KSW gets some guys that no one hears about, and you get some savage like finishes. Just like, God damn, what happened here? Where'd this guy come from?
I remember that knockout. The guy was from bottom and he swings up and knocked his opponent out cold. That was that was nuts, man. I
That
watched
that
that
made the
so many
rounds on
times.
that made the rounds on Twitter, dude. I just kept replaying it. I'm like, what? What was that? That's so sick.
Because I got to watch it
Uh,
multiple times to see where did the punch land exactly. But speaking of crazy
mhm.
knockouts, UFC Vegas 87, Vinicius Oliveira, brutal flying knee on Bernardo Sopai. I had to post it on Instagram and what's
Mhm.
funny is so my nana, God love her, she's so proud of me, but she thinks I cover professional wrestling.
Yeah.
Every time I talk to her about it, I have to tell her, no, no, it is real. I'm watching people get separated from consciousness every time I go to these events.
Yeah.
I don't think she understands the exact the line between it, but it's knockout, man. That was
It was
ridiculous.
it was the sniper shot. So they were going back and forth a little bit there. It was a good fight. I don't know. I didn't
It's a
check the
great fight.
bonuses, but I'm if they got fight of
He,
the night and
they got fight of the night and Vinicius got performance.
he double dipped. Hey, my boy. All right, but that's sick. That's all. I like to see fighters get double bonuses like that. But that was a sniper shot. Like he got separation, timed it perfectly, and like it was almost like live as it's going, you're like, oh damn, that live nasty. If you watch the replay in slow motion, you could almost see the jaw get separated. You're like,
Mm,
dude, it's nasty,
yeah,
nasty shot, crazy knockout. Definitely deserving of a double bonus on that.
yeah. So that card was early, right? So I got to catch a bit of it
Mhm.
before I went to bed for work, and I was sat with my parents, and my mom was doing some work on her laptop, and I was showing her a couple of videos during the fight. I was watching the fight. They're not really
Mhm.
into it as much as obviously I am.
Right.
I was kind of showing her something. We both look up at the exact time. Sopai gets the leg kick, and I'm like, oh, that's a big leg kick, and I see him running away, and then the thing I see him. He looks at the clock, and I literally said, "Don't look at the clock." And then the flying knee lands and knocks him
Yeah.
out cold. My mom was like concerned. She immediately goes, "His poor mother."
Dude, what's funny is when I did my amateur stint years, ages ago. When I did my amateur stint, my parents refused. Like they didn't want me to do it. They didn't want me to play football when I was in high school. Like they were worried I was gonna hurt somebody, or get hurt. But when I started, doing that, they were just like, "We're not coming to your fights." I'm like, "That's it's cool. Don't worry about it." So I get it. I get it. My mama Corey was like, "Nah, hell no, we ain't doing that."
I think my mom is very happy that I've gone into the journalist route instead of the to the fighting route for
Oh,
sure.
I got you, dude. Nah, every parent does, man. Like they won't even come to my jujitsu matches when I was like just starting out, which I get it.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna give them crap for that, but it just makes me laugh because I'm like, no one gets punched, and they're like, I don't care. People get put to sleep. I'm like, maybe you don't
Yeah.
tap, but yeah.
And talking about the rest of the card, the main card, I watched a couple of the fights. The prelims were so good. I'm glad I was able to catch those because the main card seemed to just kind of teeter out. I haven't watched Makaya versus Perez yet. I heard it was a very close fight. I have watched Rosenstruck versus Gaziev, which again, it's happened a couple times now where the UFC has kind of pushed these guys with one fight or two fights
Mhm.
into these fights against experienced guys, right? Biggie Boy Jairzinho Rosenstruck, he's not the best fighter, but he's
Yeah.
been there, he's done that. Like, you know, he's seen it all, really. So, same with Jack Hermanson, and then Sean Strickland, obviously, who then went on to
Mhm.
win the title.
Yeah, no, the thing. So first of all, in the Makaya fight, a lot of it was a close fight, but I was very disappointed in Makaya because Alex Perez has been. I mean, no one has more cancellations on the record probably than Alex Perez due to injury, due to whatever, right? And so him coming in like that, I forgot how long he's been out, but I was expecting Makaya to run through him. Like, hey, make a statement. Perez has held his ranking regardless how many fights have been canceled, and you have a chance to make do something
And
big
look at
here.
how Pantoja
And
ran through him, right? And sealed his title shot.
exactly, exactly. For Makayev, if he runs through before the fight started, I'm like, he runs through this dude. It's harder than I am. At least like in the short list of two or three guys that should be next, right? And instead, I was incredibly disappointed. Couldn't take him down. To Perez, to Alex's credit, could not take him down. Alex had great takedown defense that night, and it was definitely very close. But I think after the fight, Makai was like, "Oh, I came in here with I'm not 100%. I might be like 50%." And I'm like, "Man, these guys don't learn. Just shut up and say like, hey, man, I wanted to finish it. What are you
Did
gonna
you
do?"
did you see what Mikhail tweeted after the fight though?
No.
Tweeted a picture of his toilet. He had
Oh
nasty
God.
and just viewer discretion is advised. I don't know if the tweet's still up, but I saw it on my timeline and I thought it was a fake tweet, but it was a nasty one. And then
Yeah, you ain't
one
gonna
of
get
my
edited for it.
friends, shout out the Rambling Dad podcast, he tweeted out, he said, and he still had the balls to wear white shorts in the fight.
Who was the poor girl? Who was the one fighter? I think she wore white shorts and she may have, shit herself. And it was like
Yeah,
it was all over the internet.
I
I forgot who it was.
think I remember that. I think I
Yeah,
remember
yeah, it
that.
was
That
a
was
while ago, but I can't remember who her name. But it's probably good that no one remembers her name because
yeah,
that's embarrassing.
yeah. There's some weird things, but let's get into this weekend. It's a
Yeah.
combat sports extravaganza, as we could say, right? A great boxing fight on Friday night, and then a UFC 299 card that might be better than UFC 300. I'm a little bit more excited for it than UFC 300, at least right now, right?
Mhm.
Maybe because I'm feeling the fight week vibes now. Haven't watched a full UFC event in a little while because of work. So let's get into it. Anthony Joshua coming off a very impressive performance in December. He's riding a couple wins in a row now, taking on Francis Ngannou, former UFC champion, now with the PFL, and just had a split decision fight that could have gone either way with Tyson Fury. So first of all, kind of where do you see this matchup? How do you see these two matching up against each other?
So okay, so this is the fight that I wanted before the Tyson Fury fight. Because I thought you
Mm,
go against Tyson Fury like that, and then let's say Tyson, because Tyson's the best, right? Tyson's knocked out heavy hitters before, so Deontay Wilder, namely. But I thought, man, if you go in there, you get knocked out by Tyson Fury, you got knocked out by the champ. Ain't no coming back from that. You're not gonna work your way back up for a title shot, right? So the fact that France came in and seemingly caught him off guard, dropped him in the fight. I thought Francis won the fight. And boxing heads will be like, oh, of course, MMA fans are going to say this, or MMA reporters are going to say this. No, dude, watch the fight. Fury did not have Ngannou in trouble, and Fury got knocked
mm.
down. That's how it was, right? So I had it Ngannou, very close, mind you, but I had it Ngannou. But end of the day, I wouldn't call it a robbery either. The problem with this matchup now with AJ, I think it's a tougher matchup for Ngannou. Sorry, I keep saying it the wrong way, Ngannou, and I
Is that how you
think
correctly say it, by the way? Is it Nagano?
everyone that I spoke to that I trust in how they say it is Ngannou. That's how I've heard.
Right.
So
Okay.
I've been going Ngannou. Ngannou, I don't think they care, but Ngannou, whatever, Francis if you want to. But AJ's not gonna get caught off guard. There is now tape on
Mm.
Francis and Ngannou boxing. So AJ is good at game plans. Not people kind of fight me on this a little bit, but I'm like he's not the most exciting fighter either. We've seen him point fight for a heavyweight, that's a little rough for a boxing fight or for a boxing match. He did have an impressive fight last time around, and but I keep going back to my guy Andy Ruiz knocking him out, dude. That was rough, and I get it. People, the rumors immediately came out. I don't know if they were ever confirmed. You tell me, but the whole like, oh, AJ got, he got hurt in camp, and I'm like, I would say that too if a guy that's supposed to have no shot to knocked me out,
And
you know,
who doesn't come into a fight with injuries? Let's be
every
real, right?
time. Every time. So, what pissed me off was Andy Ruiz didn't seem to take the rematch very seriously. He got
Mm.
better than he was, and he looked like crap. So, but fast forward now, I think for AJ, I mean for Ngannou, it's kind of win-win, right? Like if he beats AJ, you definitely gonna get that Tyson Fury rematch, and hopefully with a title on the line. If AJ beats him, then Ngannou goes back to knocking out guys who shouldn't really be fighting him in MMA, but. As far as this fight goes, dude, I just think I don't know what they're trying to build. Have you seen that promo they did, the Street Fighter promo?
I have it bookmarked on Twitter. I haven't watched it yet, but
You,
everyone's saying how good it is.
it's so good. I don't know who put it together, but I gotta give them credit. It is such a good promo, and it's fitting of this fight. It's a spectacle. It's a spectacle type of fight.
It's
Um,
two of the best men on the planet, right? Like two guys who
100%.
can two guys who can knock out a horse, right? Like let's be real.
Yeah,
That's a perfect way to put it.
yeah, 100%. No, and honestly, like if people keep asking who I'm gonna pick, I'm gonna very cautiously pick Nagano because I just think AJ's got hit by heavy hitters before, obviously, but he's not. I don't think he's faced a guy like Francis
Mm.
who gets hit, who got hit with 4-ounce gloves, and isn't afraid of taking a shot, and took Tyson Fury's best shots, really. So I think
Took an
I'm
elbow
excited
from
for it
Tyson
for
as
real.
well.
Yeah, that was wild. That was just like you could tell Francis was like, okay, I've been hit with those two months. We're good. We're all right.
Mm.
But I don't know. I'm excited for it. I don't buy too many boxing pay-per-views. I'm actually gonna get this one.
I'm pumped for it. I like AJ. I think my main issue is I think obviously AJ is the much better boxer. He's a very
Oh yeah.
skilled boxer. He could he could easily come into this fight and just point fight Francis Ngannou. I think he's gonna try and do that. I think that will be his game plan. I think there
Oh,
was a
sure.
clip came out. They did a face-to-face interview. I don't know if you saw it, but the journalist or I can't remember who was hosting it said, "You guys are both going for the knockout, right?" And Francis Ngannou immediately goes, "Yeah, that's I think both of our plans." And Anthony Joshua just goes, "Why would that be my plan? I'm a boxer." Like, and he kind of like
Oh
shuts
God.
down that he's directly gonna go for the knockout.
Mhm.
Um, like if that's his game plan, just to go all out for the knockout.
Yeah.
But I'm very interested to see because the last couple times we've seen Francis Ngannou fight, he's been very patient and he's waited for his openings instead of forcing it. If you look at the Stipe Miocic fight, and then the Cyril Gane fight, I know it's an MMA fight, so it doesn't really have to do much with boxing, especially how the fight went. But he knew he was getting beaten on the feet, so he took it down. Obviously, he can't do that in the boxing fight if he's being outstruck. Which honestly, I hope he does because I think that would be really, really funny if he just was like,
Mm.
"Screw this," and just slammed Anthony Joshua to the mat. Wouldn't
That'd
that
be
wouldn't
great.
that be awesome?
The only one that had the guts to even pretend to try it was Nate when he tried to single leg Jake and then try
Didn't
to
he guillotine him?
guillotine him. He tried, yeah, well, he got it in there, and then the ref separated him. And I think Jake Paul was like, he was trying to choke me, dude. Like he looked a little scared after that. But no, I think it'd be hilarious if we did that. But no, AJ would be dumb to go shot for shot with Ngannou. I think he would be dumb to do that. I think he needs to box him, hit, move, hit, move,
Yeah,
hit, move, because Tyson kind of, and again, I'm not a huge boxing head, so I'll probably get called bullshit on this, um, but Tyson Fury uses his length and his height to kind of like back out of range and everything, and Ngannou was like meeting him there, so I think AJ is gonna be like pop, 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 move, just like
yeah,
combos and move as much as he can. What he doesn't want to do is get in a firefight with Francis Ngannou because Ngannou was just like what did Dana say? He hits like a Ford Escort. He'll be sending escorts left
yeah.
and right.
Going at
So
150 miles an hour or something ridiculous. Like,
it'll be a nasty shot. Like it'll be crazy. But mind you, I think his coaching staff or his coaching camp, with Eric Nix especially, it's gonna be they're good game planners. So I think they'll be able to
mm,
find a way to at least land on AJ. I just don't know if he's gonna beat AJ at boxing. So. I don't know. Like I said, I'm excited for it. I'm a big fan of Francis, and I'm a big fan of Francis, the man, more than the fighter, just for the fact that
yeah,
he had the guts that one bet on himself. Not to mention his origin story, if you want to call it that, is insane. And then he gets to the biggest promotion. He doesn't blink. They get mad at him. He leaves. He's like, all right, I'm gonna come on thing. And what did everyone say? Oh, he fumbled the bag, this and that. He's never get the Jones fight. Okay, getting paid bank by PFL, getting paid bank to box. Who fumbled the bag? I'd argue Dana.
yeah. Um, the way I see it is I think it's a lose-lose fight for Joshua in the sense that if he loses to Ngannou, that's
Mm-hmm.
that's embarrassing because you've had like Tyson Fury, you've had an MMA fighter come into your sport and beat you. But
Like
if he
that.
wins, a lot of at least Joshua's haters, no matter the performance, even if he knocks
Oh, sure.
Ngannou out in one round, you just beat an MMA fighter. What about Fury? What about you? What about the Usyk losses? Right? Like, um, so I think Joshua, I think he's looking at it as like, okay, I can get paid for this, but I'm also gonna have to like really have a perfect performance. I think that's gonna be something in back of Joshua's head because he has a lot of doubters, he has a lot of haters,
Mm-hmm.
and I think he'll have to show up big time if he wants to shut some of them up at least.
I think the only way that AJ comes out of this with like a win, whatever you want to call it, is if he goes and tries to take and makes it very clear in the fight that he's trying to take Ngannou's head off and then does it. That's the only way I think he wins. I think if he goes out there and boxes him, they go how many ever rounds? Is it 8 rounds, 12 rounds, whatever it is.
I think it's 10.
10. Okay, if they go the full distance, okay, AJ loses. Even if he wins, he loses. Um, if he gets knocked down by Ngannou, like you said, there's more AJ haters than there are Fury haters. Let's be real. So I think you're right. They'll be mounting up on any little detail. I think the only way that he could shut them up is to like really make it obvious he's trying to Mike Tyson this dude. He's trying to take him out as devastating as possible. And then I think haters will say whatever they want, but I think the boxing world will be like, all right, AJ's back. I think that's exactly the kind of thing you're gonna get. If he goes to full distance, the broadcast is going to be like, yeah, AJ's back. The big time boxing heads who want the sport to come back to what it used to be. Oh yeah, AJ's back. The rest of us that are just fans will be like, that was weak. He got taken to the distance by an MMA fighter. Wow. Do I really want to see you in the Usyk rematch? Do I really want to see you with Fury? Nah. Nah. I'd rather see you with Wilder. So
Yeah, that would be a fun fight too, to be fair.
I still want Ngannou Wilder. I don't even care where they do it. Just Ngannou Wilder will be so much fun because someone's going to sleep.
I mean that fight would 90% happen in Saudi. Um,
Oh, have to be. Anyway, I think it'd
and
be. I
honestly,
honestly think
uh,
it gets more pay-per-view buys than this one. I think.
I would pick Ngannou more confidently against Wilder than
Oh
I do
yeah.
against Joshua because
Oh yeah.
Wilder leaves himself open, and Francis is so like he's got this scary combination of accuracy and power that
Mhm.
like he'll put your lights out because he knows I think early in Francis' career he was just like, all right, I can knock you out with one punch no matter where it lands. But now he's
Mhm.
finding like the exact pinpoint position on the chin, on the temple, that kind of thing. So, but yeah, Joshua needs a big performance here. And honestly, I do think he gets. I'm picking Joshua in this.
Okay.
I think he'll start by point fighting, and as the fight goes on, I think between round 6 and 10, I think that's when if he does point fight and he just puts jabs in Francis' mouth, I think Francis will get a bit tired, get a little bit hasty, and then I think if there's a finish, Joshua can catch him in those later rounds. But I'm leaning a Joshua decision here. Um, Point fight, I think, is probably a safe option. I think there might be one or two rounds where he tries to go into the fire with Francis and realizes maybe that's not the best idea.
All right. Quickly, what do you think? We talked about what happens with AJ if he wins, right? But what if Ngannou wins? Like, what do you think happens then? Because I see no other choice. I mean, they just canceled. They just moved Fury Usyk. I think Ngannou should get the winner of that. Personally, I think he should get the winner of that if he was able to finish
I'm up
AJ or
for it.
beat
I'm
AJ.
down. I'm
And a lot of
down.
people will push back on that, but still.
I think PFL is going to be like, no, because they're going to
Oh,
lose their
Don
fight.
Davis. Don Davis, he gonna be watching this Friday night like, yeah, let's go and the guy who on Twitter and that homie's gonna be like, please, agent, please give me my guy back.
It's like,
No, you know what I mean? Like,
is it the Spider-Man meme where he goes to grab something, it just like
yeah,
disappears through his fingertips?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because
No, it's gonna
also,
be
if
weird.
Ngannou loses, he comes back to PFL and he fights Hernan Ferreira. That's also a really cool fight, right?
Yeah.
To me, that's like the Wilder and Ngannou of the MMA world right now. Like both guys, crazy power. Hernan Ferreira has been knocked out before, so he's got his openings. While Ngannou,
Mhm.
before this fight, I don't know, whatever happens, he's perfect. He's never been finished, and he's got a pretty damn good chin as much as we've seen it.
Mhm. Yeah, no, that Ferrer fight. First of all, shout out to both those guys for when that fight ever happens. Just for the fact that Ngannou's contract reportedly, he negotiated his opponent make minimum 2 million for the fight. So you could tell how happy Hannon was after he knocked out Bader. He's just like, oh
That
yeah,
was a
yeah,
crazy
I
knockout
got
too.
paid.
That
That was a nasty knockout, and we could talk about that here in a little bit if you want to. Um, but the fight with Ngannou is massive for him financially and his image and all that.
it's life changing
But
money, even if he loses.
even if he loses in life changing money, you're right, absolutely. As far as the Bader fight, um, Ryan Bader's what 40? Can we
Yeah,
relax with this whole like we're surprised he got knocked out? He hasn't
no.
fought, in my opinion, in an elite level. And again, this is not a knock against Ryan
I
Bader.
mean, his last
Father
fight
time,
was Fedor Emelianenko
yeah, he knocked
in
out. He
2023.
knocked out. He knocked out Fedor, who he shouldn't have been fighting
That
anyway,
was his
twice,
last
right?
fight, right? It was Fedor in his
I
last
think it
fight.
was that. I think it was Fedor, but yeah, I think it was Fedor. But no, he was Fedor or his one of his guys, Moldavsky. Was it Moldavsky?
It
I
might
can't
have been.
remember.
1 second. Let me uh
Yeah,
let me double check. But that PFL Bellator card, again, I was super annoyed because I had to miss it.
yeah,
And I just kept calling Pat Down and Cade Morehouse just like, "Hey, what's happening? What's happening?"
yeah.
Um no, so Bader's fight before this most recent one was against Fedor. Um
Okay, okay.
but then again looking at his thing, so he got TKO'd by Corey Anderson.
Yep.
Um then beat Valentin Modovsky, beat Czech Congo, and then
Yep.
beat Fedor. Like he's not really the strongest strength of schedule, and I think Kenan Ferreira is in terms of heavyweights in MMA, I think he is underrated.
Hmm. Yeah, no, he is. And the thing is, here's the thing though, and I say this about guys that beat Cowboy at the end of his career, Tony Ferguson, anytime in the last couple years, 2, 3, 4 years, um, even Nate Diaz, like, how much is that win really worth? Ryan Bader's 40
Mm,
years old. You just mentioned his record. He beat, all due respect to the king, and an incredibly aged star, right? Who really at that point in his career and even now, all he has left as far as to his fight name is the star power. Like you don't want to see Fatal fight anybody anymore. So how much is a win over Ryan Bader? How much is it really worth to the casuals that love PFL and Bellator and all that, and love Ryan Bader? It's huge. To the rest of us who have watched Ryan Bader from the UFC till now, it's not that impressive. I wasn't impressed with it. I wasn't surprised at all. And again, not a knock to go towards and not a knock at all towards the Ryan Bader, who has made an incredible career for himself. But it's not the same thing as knocking
mm.
out, I won't even say John Jones, it's way too big of a name, but it's not even the same thing as knocking out like Curtis Blades, Derek Lewis, Tom Aspinall. I mean, you want to impress me, Hennon? Knock out Tom Aspinall. See what's up.
That would be
That's me
crazy.
personally.
That would be crazy.
That's what I'm saying. So
Um,
it's what value do you put to the win? Like, if you come up to me and was it Patty, the last one that beat Tony Ferguson?
yeah.
Patty was honest about that in his media day. He was just like, "Look, I'm gonna lose, basically. Like I lose to Tony Ferguson. Damn, I
Well,
beat Tony
at,
Ferguson. He's an age guy.
at first he was like, "This is a legend," but I think as it got closer to the fight, no one
Hmm.
wanted to see that fight, right? I was kind of
Nobody,
hoping the whole time Tony pulls out and you get like Jared Gordon step in because I think
anybody.
Patty
Yeah,
still needs to prove people wrong because look at
yeah.
Jared Gordon now. Okay, he had the no contest against Bobby Green where he got knocked out by a head, but
Hmm.
he had a very impressive performance against Marco Madsen. Like very,
Yeah.
very impressive. Shout out Rush MMA by the way, being his videographer. That's a
That
great gig.
that so fucking proud of that guy for being able to get into the world like that and
He's
follow a
such a
fight
beast,
around.
man.
Yeah, yeah. But he's
I
got
could
big
spend
things
a whole
coming, I'm
podcast
sure.
talking about how great Rush is too. So,
Rush is the fucking man, dude. One of my favorite people in this space. But
100%.
yeah, dude. I don't with Patty, even Patty knew. So again, is what value do you put to these fights, to these wins, right? Um, Even then, like we're getting close. I think personally, people will give me shit for this. I think we're one more Conor McGregor loss away from him being in that category of what does a win over Conor McGregor mean anymore? When Nate beat him, it was huge. It made him a superstar. He was already a star, but it made him a superstar. Nate's ending up on freaking entertainment TV on regular shows that you never see him on, stuff like that. And he got mad crazy fights after that off of that win. Dustin Poirier, not really. And he beat him twice, right? Beat him twice, and he really hasn't turned that into a massive Nate Diaz, Conor McGregor style success. And a lot of people put that towards, he doesn't play the character like Nate's himself. Like I can tell you right now, Nate Diaz who he is who shows you he is. Conor, kind of charactery a little bit. His lines before were very rehearsed.
Yeah.
Like his pressers, recent pressers are nowhere near the same as the old ones. Nowhere near the same because the old ones were rehearsed, clean. People say scripted, whatever you want to say. But the new one's not so much.
Everyone
But
scripts
I
their
think
lines. Let's be so real.
everyone.
Everyone scripts.
The only one
Even
that doesn't is
even
Sean
Sean
Strickland.
Strickland.
No,
Even
I'll say Sean Strickland doesn't. He
yeah.
knows what he wants to say, but you
He
could.
yeah.
Yeah, look, I've seen people because I've been at enough of plenty of his pressers and media days. You can see, shout out to USCPR, you guys are amazing. I love you guys. But I can see these people like they got the notebooks like shit. What's he gonna say? Like the guy at 297, whoever was there as his
I
babysitter,
think it's
Luke or something like that.
you mean the guy that reporter that he argued with or
No, 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 oh no, that's Alex K. But Alex
yeah,
Lee.
that's what I thought.
But
Yeah.
no. They had a UFC. They have a PR guy for Sean alone to like when he starts to get too crazy. Like, fuck all that, right? So
Mhm.
that guy, that guy had a stressful week that week at was it 297? Well, no,
Yeah.
that was in
And I'm a big
yeah, I was
Sean
gonna say
Strickland fan in terms of like I've always enjoyed his fighting style personally. The Philly
sure,
shell, I'm
yeah,
gonna beat the crap out of you. That's kind of his style, and I love it. And some of
mhm.
his talking is like I take it with a pinch of salt.
Yeah,
Like I don't take it fully seriously. But then like that fight week, I was like, oh, don't say that. Come on, Sean, like chill. But then
Yeah.
I think well, there's something recently that he posted about again about being men, but I think you responded to a Joe Rogan clip talking about him. Oh, it was
Yeah.
because Joe Rogan talked about him beating up Sneeko, the
Yeah.
YouTuber,
Yeah.
and he responded with like a video. And he's sitting in his kitchen, like a I don't know if you've seen it, but he's sitting there in a bathrobe,
Ah, that's what that was
and
about. I saw that shit.
and
Yeah.
he's got his dog, and he's just like, look, society, they want us to be losers. I was like, oh, Sean, come on, you beat up a YouTuber, just
Yeah.
take it that it's not the coolest look to beat up Sneeko, who's what 160 pounds soaking wet.
I have no idea. Honestly, I didn't know who he was until right before that clip. Someone told me about him, and he's like, "Oh, he's just like Andrew Tate wannabe." And I'm like, "All right, well, everyone these days, all these what I don't even know what to call them. Like these like these guys that want to be like, oh, we got to be men again. All these kind of guys that are making money off weirdos online that are like, yeah, I got to be a man. I got to be like Andrew Tate. These are all, first of all, folks, these are all money grabbing psychos. Okay, all right. Like if you need a sneako, or Andrew Tate or somebody else on YouTube to tell you how to be a man, you already lost, homie. You are done. All right. If you don't already have that up here, you weren't raised with it, or you just don't have it. Or you might just be a sack of shit. Who knows? But if you need to go to YouTube and see some fucking bald dude selling you bullshit, or the Sneeko guy selling you bullshit, or all these other people, who's this one chick that's also a psycho? I forget her name, but um, all these people that are just trying to sell you this like men need to be men. Like if you don't already realize, like if you don't already, I can't fathom the fact that you need to go to someone else to learn this shit. Come on, dog. Like, come on, man. Ain't no
Have
one
you
ever had to tell me how to be a man.
have you seen the
You know?
video? So Sneeko then after the Sean Strickland video, he went and
Mm-hmm.
trained with Marab, who spent the whole time taking him down, and slapping him, and it's so funny.
Oh, fucking
And just
Marab.
like he takes him down, just slaps his stomach, puts him in a crucifix, just starts slapping his face, and
Dude,
it's so funny.
has anybody like won social media more lately than fucking Marab Bashvili?
I love Marab, man.
He's
Have you?
fucking awesome.
So shout out. I know he doesn't need the shout out, but shout out Mighty Mouse because he has an awesome
Mm-hmm.
YouTube channel. I watch that stuff all
Yeah.
the time,
Yeah.
and he just had Marab on his podcast, and it's such a funny interview. And they get into like they get into everything, and he said, if he had lost to Peter Yan, he would have killed himself. And you can see Mighty Mouse just absolutely loses it.
Yeah.
He talks
Yeah.
about, I mean, that video of him jumping headfirst into the icy lake and just cracking his skull open is hilarious as
Oh,
well.
dude, that dude is he's one of those guys where I'm like, man, I'd love to grab a beer with that guy one day. Not even I don't even want to see him talk about fighting. I just want to hang out with him.
Have you seen the videos of him scaling the mountains? It's absolutely nuts.
No,
He just like he's
I,
like a mountain goat. He just runs up these mountains.
it's psycho, man. That guy's nuts. He's a different kind of human, man. On the Sean Strickland thing, though, like, just to circle back real quick.
Yeah,
The thing with him is like he says what's really on top of his mind, and that's fair, right?
I like that though. I like
Everybody,
it.
100%. No, me too. I love that kind of stuff. Like if you're genuine, people will follow you. Sean Strickland, as crazy as it might sound, he is genuine. He is who he is, and that's what people go with him. Whether or not you agree with his message, that's a separate argument or a separate discussion. But I think with him, a lot of people are just like, yeah, finally, someone that upholds freedom of speech. And I think people kind of mix up what freedom of speech is, okay? Because what Alex Lee was doing at that media day was not trying to censor this guy. It was not, as much as everybody wants to be like, yeah, we're trying to censor. He was not. You cannot censor someone that does not care about other people's feelings, which
Uh-huh.
is Sean Strickland. Okay. Just like Dave Chappelle said before, in order to get canceled, you have to care. And if you don't, you don't get canceled. Bottom line. So, um, so he clearly doesn't care. But what Alex was doing, asking a legitimate question. Everyone bitches at us about media. I'm sure you've seen this stuff on social media. These guys are ever going to ask a real question. What's a real question then, genius? What you want to ask him? How was the weight cut?
I
How
found
was
it funny.
camp?
There was, and I think I posted a story about it then about journalists
Mm-hmm.
talking shit, and And there was a few in the comments of this video, the clip that
Hmm.
went out, obviously that went kind of semi-viral. Um, and there were some like young journalists or like these combat sports pages commenting, "How do these clowns get credentials and I can't?" That's why.
The salt, the salt,
And I posted
the
that on my
salt.
story, and I didn't tag anyone. I'm not going to mention any names, but I said, "Look, if you're going to be like this online and you're going to talk bad about fighters, make jokes out of fighters, edit them getting knocked out,
Hmm.
as much as the Joe Rogan memes are funny of him sitting next to the fighters when they're knocked out cold, are
Yeah.
right. If you're a journalist trying to make it and you're posting these, let's be real. The UFC is like the all-seeing eye. It's like Sauron. It sees everything.
Oh,
So you say anything stupid, they're going to see it. That's why, like, my social media is completely cleansed now, right? I don't say
yeah,
anything stupid.
yeah.
I
No,
used
and
to,
the
though.
thing is, yeah, we were all young at some point, dude. But I mean, you're still young, obviously.
I'm getting
The
old.
thing is, yeah, well, maybe, but you're maturing. That's the point. Um, that's the thing about it is so a lot of the comments when they were like that, yeah, how do these guys get? First of all, we're case side press. We're not huge. We're not one of the top three yet. We will be.
Mm,
Don't play with me. We will be top
we
three
will be.
very soon. Okay, but we're not there yet, right? And like I live this shit, dude. I see what everybody posts. Do I come out and say anything? Do I retweet it and go, I can't believe this guy said no, I don't. But I'm watching. I'll break the fourth wall for a second. I get people hit me up trying to hop on the team all the time, saying like, "Oh man, I really appreciate what you guys do and all this other stuff, and I really want to cover the sport. And my goal is to start with write ups, start recaps, start with interviews, and then move up to event coverage. And I've done it. I don't have enough fingers to tell you how many times I've done this, okay? But easily over 20 times where I'm like, oh, hold on one second. I find a clip. Was this you? Or I find a tweet. Was this you?
Do you message
Okay.
them that? It's like this
I
you, or
Yeah,
do
I
you
messaged them
just
that. I messaged them. And they're like, oh yeah, but I was just like, that was a long time ago. I'm like, bro, that was like 4 months ago. All right. Well, and I have one guy come back at me. He's like, what was your point? I go, here's my point. Okay. Uh, I learn as I go. We had, and again, fourth wall broken. We had that mess with that one dude that's like, apparently I didn't know he was a freaking a troll online, the betting troll, right?
yeah, yeah.
But you know
Oh,
what
the
I'm
one
talking
that
about.
got in the fight with Chris Curtis.
Right, that guy. I learned from that a lot from that. Okay, to where I try not to like hold things, against people or the past actions and all that. I go, but I know what a headache looks like, and I'm not bringing one on. It's just not going to happen,
Mm.
right? Which is why like I'm very careful about who I pick up on the team. You, Rush, Jamie Theo, who by the way, congratulations, Jamie. Moving on. I ain't gonna break those news. All right. Jamie will tell you when he's ready.
Jamie
But
told me that's coming out tonight or tomorrow, sometime soon, because I was
there you
texting with
go.
him.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. So Jamie Theo, one of the best out there. Jake Noker. I'm gonna forget somebody. I'm gonna hurt someone's feelings. But all the guys that we have. Cade Morehouse. Dylan Napoleon, who I'm very excited about.
Yes, he's a
Young
beast.
guy, but
Have you seen
he's
his
good.
bull riding coverage? I love it. I
I
think
saw
he's
some of it
found a niche
online.
here. He's
Oh, he's
found a
found
niche
something.
here, and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
fun, man. I remember
Yeah. No,
watching
he's
that when I
good.
was like 7 years old. When you're sitting watching your grandma's TV too long, and somehow it gets on the TV, and you're finally
Mhm.
past the sitcoms and the soap operas, and
Yeah.
you get bull riding. It's a different kind of thing.
I used to live in Tucson, Arizona while I was in college, and I went to a couple rodeos, and it was just like I'm sitting there going like, well, y'all really okay? I guess we're watching this, like, cool. But I'm also from Mexico, where we have bullfighting, like matador and a
Yeah.
bull, and you literally killing the bull in front of everybody. I've been to those two when I was a kid, so I don't really get too impressed by too much, but I know he's really good with that coverage for sure. So I mean, again, like you know, all this is circle back to what Alex asked Sean Strickland. Um, it was to me, it was a fair question. That's a journalist question.
It
Like,
was.
is
Yeah.
these people that are like, oh, I can't believe he asked them that. Please go watch a White House presser. Please go watch when a sheriff is being put feet to the fire, when a mayor is being in New York is being put feet to the fire. Those are the questions they get. Those are real
Yeah.
questions. That was a real
I think
question. Now,
journalism is because of social media being seen differently, because we see these kind of like social media journalists take it a
yeah,
different way now, where they're trying to make it funny, they're trying to make it
yeah,
entertaining. But that's not necessarily journalism. Sometimes, yeah, you have to stick in and ask the tough
mhm,
questions.
yeah. So now everyone's like, oh, he was setting them up. Maybe. but he was trying to ask a real question, right? But he was setting him up for an answer. He knew he was going to get. First of all, Alex knew what he was going to get. He knew he was going to probably get Sean Strickland to freak out and all sort of stuff. What I didn't agree with was, and again, I don't even disagree with the fact that what Sean Strickland said to him. But did he attack him? Absolutely. He went at him, but he used him as a face for this whole group that he calls the ones that are trying to, destroy society or whatever, right? What I had a problem was with the reaction from other people and other reporters too. I saw some reporters like go at that dude, and I'm sitting there going like, motherfucker, you wish you were in his seat. You tripping? Like you are tripping if you think that you wouldn't like give in a heartbeat take a spot in the media room. You would absolutely do it. Okay, but you know what you wouldn't do? Ask him a real question, right? And again, there's for a fighter, there's not a lot of real questions you can ask him anyway, really, right? Because if you're talking about them fighting, right, you go for prep. You go for after the fight. You go did something surprise you? I guess is the question. I hate that question, but still, like anything surprised you about this fight? Something big happened in the fight. You got knocked down, but you came. What was your thought process? All that, and then what's next? Those are the usual, cookie cutter questions, right? After that, you go for, how's your family, feel about this? Like if you know something about their background, stuff like that, and you go into that, right? But there's not a whole lot of real questions you can ask a fighter. Like it just is what it is at that point. Shaka Strickland was a lot of stuff that he said using his free speech. Okay, that was a legitimate question. Just bottom line. Now, there's a difference between freedom of speech and censorship, obviously. But freedom of speech, especially in the states where we have the First Amendment, that protects you from prosecution for what you say. Does not protect you from the consequences that may come from your words. That's where people mix it up. Okay. But I don't know, man. That whole thing was wild. And I don't know Alex personally. I don't. I've seen him work before. I've heard stories. He's a decent guy and all that. So what I just didn't like the hate that he got from fans and some other media. Now, we can talk about the influencer media if you want to, because that is a whole different ball game. And
It's a different ball game.
Oh, dude, getting bunched up with those guys is annoying at best. At best is annoying. Because and again, they hustle, do what you do. What's her name?
Yeah.
Who's the one that
Nina.
is like basically her name is Nina? Okay, Nina. Not for me, not my kind of content. I'm not gonna give a shit for it. A lot of people get upset at her. A lot of people that consider her antics kind of dumb. They're annoyed by her. I don't care. You hustle. You hustle. Do you do you, girl? I don't care. But I don't like getting journalists getting bunched up with those guys because that's a different type of deal. They're entertaining. We're informing. That's a difference, right? Now, can we entertain and inform? Absolutely, we can. Interviews are great for that, right? But like if you look at our Instagram, and again, it's not huge because we're informing, right? Now, I got some things in the works. It's gonna be a little more entertaining. It's gonna be a little fun and some things that in the works, some ideas I'm cooking up with my brother Fred Kirby from Keyboard Warriors, that we're hoping we'll pump those kind of quite a bit actually. But but there's those guys are entertainment and they have their place. But please do not call them reporters or journalists because they're not looking for a story. They're looking to make you laugh. That's all it is. Yeah. So I mean, and it's okay to say that. It's not a hating thing to say they're not media.
No, it's not
They're
hating.
not journalists.
You can respect it as well as not like it. And I think
exactly
that's I'm not a fan of it, but I'm going to post my clips and edit it and make it look like a social media clip, but it's not going to be a and maybe it's funny. I think I posted a clip when I interviewed Lanny Quinones and I took a clip of him shouting out a sponsor of male enhancement gummies. I thought it was really funny. So I clipped it and I put it out. But that's kind of like where the entertaining aspect's going to go. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Like I said, the interviews are great for that. You get a great clip from somebody. I mean, shoot, not 91. I think it was the first Salt Lake City card where Leon Edwards knocked out Kamaru Usman. I forgot what it was.
Oh my God,
I can't remember, dude.
I remember that card so well because I was at my grandma's.
It was either 89. It was either 89 or 91, I think, but I can't remember. But Tyson Pedro, who by the way, congratulations on a retirement. He had his reasons. He retired on Saturday night. I don't know if you saw that, but
I
Yeah, so
did,
he
yeah.
retired for great reason and everything. So that night, I'm in the media room, and they everyone asked him the usual questions, and I'm about to ask him about something, and he threw me off. I was wearing now like normally like I'm not bald by nature. I shave my head like on purpose. I just
Yeah.
shave it down because it's just easier for me. I'm in Arizona; it's hot as shit all the time. I'm not trying to
I mean, I
have to
have
deal with my
this
hair.
mop, but I think if I
Yeah,
lived in
but
Arizona, it would be gone too.
you would have to because it's hot as shit out here, dude. You
Well,
like
because
you
well,
be
I wouldn't want to
dripping.
because I'm already receding, so maybe I shouldn't.
Or
But
you need a little re-up on the color,
I do, yeah.
huh? Yeah.
I've got the appointment to get it
There you
redone
go.
before I go to the States in a couple
I,
weeks.
my wife goes to get her hair done all the time, so I get it too. I'm not saying against you, but still,
I
like
know, I know what
I
you mean.
get the whole, I get the whole hair, keeping the hair thing. But anyway, I shave my head all the time, and so I had literally shaved head, I had my beard, I had a black shirt, black pants, black shoes, and a red tie. Anyone that has seen the game Hitman, and I happen to have a jacket, a black leather jacket. And Tyson Reed comes on, sits down. I'm starting to ask him a question. He goes, "Oh, you got that Agent 47 thing going, eh?" Like, I'm like, "Well, I'm trying." And he starts laughing and shit. Those are the clips that you get during a
Yeah,
journalist interview.
exactly,
Those are great.
exactly.
But again, the
There's
people like, fuck,
can we
what
just start a petition like with your shaved head? Can we get it to dye it blonde if we can get enough signatures?
my, my wife would be so upset. She would be so upset if I did that.
That'd
It
be so
depends.
funny though.
If the right wager comes by, the right bet
Right,
comes
okay.
by, we'll consider it. I'll let you know.
Message
But
Eddie Law on Instagram with your offer.
we'll see if the right one comes
We
along. We'll talk about it.
create a GoFundMe and
Yeah,
send them all the money for it.
yeah. It happens. I'll have it for a week. I'll have it for a week, and then I'll shave it live on stream. But yeah. But that's fucking funny. But yeah, no, like I'm fucking now. I'm out of it now. What were we talking about?
I'm
That's just
sorry,
funny
man.
though. Oh yeah. So yeah, those are the things. Now, what's her name? Fuck, Nina. Sorry. She has her place in this whole thing too. It's honestly like I've only seen, and admittedly, like 4 clips, right? Unfortunately, the very first one is her twerking on during a mock walkout at the end of an arena,
Mhm.
and I'm like, oh god, this is what we've fallen to. Okay, not for me. It's cool. Like, I don't care. It doesn't bother me really, but I didn't watch it. And some of her other stuff, like asking Sean Strickland, no, it wasn't Sean Strickland. She asked somebody about if the drapes match the hair. Was it Gordon Ryan? Gordon Ryan. She has Gordon Ryan that.
Yeah.
Like, do the, whatever that's the best question. I'm like, okay.
Drapes
So
match
that
the carpet or something.
something like that. Yeah.
Something like
Yeah. Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. The carpets match the drapes. Right. So, those kind of things is like, okay, mind you, if that were reverse, and it was some dude
Gordon
asking
Ryan's
Misha
canceled
Tate,
again.
immediately would get some shit for that. But it's the other way, right? So, and again, it's just entertainment. You can choose to watch it or not watch it. It's up to you. But she has her place in this whole thing. Who's the other guy
The only ones I
who
really watch from her are the Sean Strickland ones because those are really, to be fair
they're
to
pretty
her,
funny.
entertaining.
Yeah. He says some wild shit, and the joke is that her boyfriend's behind the camera, and I'm sitting there going like,
Yeah.
if that really is her dude, like, what you gonna say? That's Sean Strickland. So
Uh, you can't say
it is
anything
what
because
it is.
he'll just crush you.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah, exactly. And then you have guys that do journalism for the most part and have a character as well. I won't even shout out the dude's name, but because he gets sensitive. But people like I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. But so like there's guys like that and everything. Then there's the hardcore journalists. The more John Morgan's, hell, even the Oscar Willis is out there from the Mac Life and all that.
mm.
So it's just a different media, dude. It is what it is. But
I'm
speaking
still
of
not
which,
over
let's
John
talk.
Morgan shouting all us
Yeah,
young guys out when we did the
yeah.
CFFC presser.
John's the shit, dude. John is I've talked to him quite a few times and everything,
Yeah.
and I've never seen him turn anybody down when they needed advice or asked a question.
Yeah.
And he's always down for like fan photos and all that. He's a great guy for sure. But speaking of media, Jay Anderson should be leaving here in the next day or two, heading over to Miami for this massive 299 card. This is
That's a
crazy.
big
What do you think of
weather
this
change
card?
as well from
Oh,
wintertime Canada
bro,
to
when
sunny
we
Miami.
when that one got announced, he hit me up immediately. He goes, I think I'm gonna go do that Miami card. I'm like, have at it, bro. I'm not going to Florida. And it's just too humid for me, bro. But he's going from cold as shit to nice, warm, and toasty. So he's gonna have some fun.
that'll definitely be nice.
Yeah.
Let's get into the card this weekend if you still got time. UFC
Yeah, I got time.
299. Big main event, a rematch from a fight in 2020. I actually have the poster from the event, Cormier versus Stipe Miocic 3. I remember that event
Yeah.
quite well because I watched it with my dad. Um, let's get into it. Cheeto Vera
Yeah.
is a guy, I think, for a long time, he was seen as a good fighter, right? Then everyone thought, okay, this is a good name for Sean O'Malley to come in and beat, right? A
Yeah.
lot of trash talk going into it. Cheeto Vera kicks his leg, triggers the perennial nerve, shuts down his leg, and elbows him and knocks him out in the first round, right?
Mhm.
Cheeto Vera, not known as a guy who finishes people early. He finishes people normally after a lot of volume, or as we've seen with the Dominic Cruz fight, with the Frankie Edgar fight, with a giant knockout, right? A big kick or something,
Right.
right? He has a flair for the dramatic, right? He'll do it right at the end. Sean O'Malley, known for one-shot KOs, right? We've seen it time and time again.
Yeah.
We all love it. His highlight reels, every time he fights, he goes viral for a variety of reasons. Even the Pedro Munoz fight when it was a no contest, he went viral for mocking Pedro Munoz's spinning kick, right?
Yeah. Yeah. He did.
Um, let's get into it. How do you see this fight going, really? Like, because I'm all over the
Oh.
place. I can't really lay it down for myself.
Now I got it down pretty easy. I already knew who I was gonna pick the second to announce the fight. Um, I think Sean O'Malley is gonna put on a clinic. Cheeto, first of all, Cheeto came in during those early like Latin America Ultimate Fighter cards or
Yeah.
Ultimate Fighter shows, right? I think he won one. But
No,
his thought. Oh,
he
he
had to
lost.
leave early because he got like a skin infection, like a really nasty
That's right.
skin infection. But they
Yeah.
still brought him into the finale because it was kind of unfair, and he won his fight on the
Mm,
contender series with
yeah.
an up kick.
Yeah. So he when Chito came into the UFC and everything, the whole story was that he did it to have make enough money for surgery for his daughter who had a eye condition, I believe. And she, whatever else going on. But she wanted to give a surgery or a smile, sorry, a smiling thing. She couldn't
Smile,
smile.
yeah.
So he was like, I'm fighting so I can see her smile. And yeah, as a father, everyone, we all fucking teared up, dude. It was like, damn. But he comes in and it's one of those kind of like almost like he surprised himself at how well he was doing. Right? He was like, "Oh, okay." So little by little, we get proper, polite, nice little Chito Vera to tat it like crazy, blasting F words left and right, posting on social media, talking shit and all that. And then he, after he beat Sean O'Malley is when that stuff came in heavy, like crazy, right? But the skills, in my opinion, have not caught up to that, not yet. If they ever will. To me the most glaring ones are Corey Sandhagen fight because he
Mhm.
made minimum to none adjustments, right? And
Yeah,
that
and
worried me. Yeah,
and Forrest Handtaking is very similar to Sean O'Malley. The size, the
very
length, the way they
the
fight as well.
trickiness. Yeah, the trickiness, the creativity. Like I want to see Sandhagen O'Malley personally, as soon as possible, right before Sandhagen gets takes another loss or whatever, or Sean O'Malley takes another loss. Even if he loses, fuck, let's get that fight. But he, Sandhagen schooled him. In my opinion, I thought he schooled Vera. Vera had nothing. He couldn't do anything. He was taking
No.
more damage than anything, and he wasn't landing as much damage as you wanted from someone to actually win the fight. So, that's the fight that I thought if we ever rematch O'Malley, he's screwed because Sean O'Malley watched that 100%. And that team at the lab and his coach Tim, I think it's his coach, his personal coach, whatever,
Tim
Tim Welch.
Welch, yeah,
Yeah, that guy's smart. Okay, call them
he
stoners if you
is.
want to. These guys are smart. Don't play with these guys. They are not dumb and they are not unskilled. They're very good. So I think it's gonna be kind of a schooling. I think that first round will be a little bit like back and forth and everything, and then
Mm.
Sean's gonna see what Cheeto's coming with, and that's that. What and I don't know. Cheeto Bear doesn't change his game plan very often. He just going for knockouts and everything. So, will Cheeto go for that leg kick, try to get that nerve again? Sure, why not? Try it out.
100%.
Give it a shot.
It's the first thing he's gonna throw. He's gonna run to the center and kick the leg as hard
Yeah,
as he can.
as many times as he can. But I think O'Malley's gonna have something for him that night. And so I don't. A lot of people are like, oh, if this happens, Cheeto wins. If this happens, O'Malley wins. I don't see any other way that Cheeto can win that fight again, without finishing him. That's what it is. And I think Sean O'Malley will finish him. I think Sean O'Malley is that
Really?
creative,
Okay.
and I think he finishes
That's
him Cheeto
interesting.
Vera. And I hate to say that. I hate it because I like Cheeto. I like everything about Cheeto. Everything, the attitude, the tags, the swag and all that. He should be bigger than he really is. But you know, it's just I don't know. I hate to say that I think Sean's gonna school him.
I'm a big fan of both, and I've been one for a long time. So when that fight happened in 2020, I was at a point where it was like it was a win-lose situation where I was like, I'm gonna be happy for the winner, but sad for the loser. And I'm in this situation again. I don't want to see either lose. I would love
Yeah.
to see Cheeto win the title with his story
Oh
of his
yeah.
daughter and everything that's happened. Like it would be a great ending per se to the story.
Hmm.
But at the same time, the hype of Sean O'Malley, all the doubters, and he finishes Aljamain Sterling, who at the time was regarded as maybe the greatest bantamweight of all time,
Hmm.
with a beautiful shot. So, and it's a very interesting fight to me. I do think Sean O'Malley probably wins. He is a minus 285 favorite as I checked a couple hours ago.
Yeah.
Um, and but I don't think Sean finishes him. I don't
No.
think you can finish Cheeto. And maybe I'll say that wrong and he gets sparked in 30 seconds and I look
Yeah.
like an idiot. But
Cheeto's gonna
and
message you
trust me,
like, "What the fuck,
it's
man?"
happened before as well. It's
Yeah.
happened before. So um, you know, but
Yeah.
I think if someone's gonna finish the fight, it's Cheeto. And
Okay.
Cheeto, I think in terms of finishing ability, I think Cheeto has more ways to finish the fight
Sure.
because he can get it to the ground. And Cheeto has a nasty, nasty submission game. Um, he has some really nice kimuras, triangles. He's very good with his guard, and
Yeah.
he likes an arm submission. So
He does.
I could see a finish coming from Cheeto, but I don't. Again, I don't think he submits Sean O'Malley either.
Hmm.
So this is where I'm like, oh, maybe he could. No. So this is like I'm so on the fence in this fight.
Yeah.
But I do lean Sean O'Malley getting the victory. But I
Gotcha.
wouldn't mind either way. I just hope it's a good
Hmm.
fight. But that co-main event, ooh, foo, 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 foo. Now I've seen Benoit fight live. I was at UFC
Hmm.
Paris, obviously.
Yeah.
Now we didn't get to go out for that fight. We had God, who was in the media room at the time of that fight? Um, I can't remember, but we could barely hear him because of the crowd. They closed
Hmm.
the door to the press room.
It's still
It was
loud.
so loud in the arena. And so we were all kind of like looking at the TVs. As soon as we asked the questions, everyone just like we'd ask the questions and everyone just went
Hmm.
and was just watching the fight. And it was nuts as well. It was a
Yeah.
crazy fight against Thiago Moises and wore him down, finishes
Yep.
him. And then we're all like, ooh, Benoit's gonna be he's gonna be here for media day, hometown win. Love it.
Yep.
Because he was great on media day. He had an aura around him that whole fight week. Because
He
I
was.
briefly spoke to him and one of his teammates because
Hmm.
I went outside after media day because I was waiting on
Yeah.
Caitlin Lochran and they were there. So I just
Hmm.
briefly I was like, "Hey man, how you doing on the fight week?" Like not asking for an interview, but I was just like speaking to him. There was something about him on that week where he just has an aura around him.
Yeah.
And then so I was like super pumped. And then I asked PR and I asked, are we going to be able to go out for Namajunas, Fioro, and Jan Spivak, or is Benoit coming back? And they said, oh no, we'll hold Benoit for you guys. You
Yeah.
guys can go enjoy the show. And then just before we're leaving, they say, oh, Benoit's being transported to the hospital with a broken foot. I was like,
Oh, dang.
oh, okay. But then about 2 weeks later, he gets announced and he's fighting Matt Frivola. I was like, wait, what? I thought he had a broken foot. Then he knocks him out with the
Crazy.
same foot that was supposed to be broken.
Yep. Yep. No, it was nuts. He that he's the thing. I like him a lot, but just because he is one of those guys that like he I don't know how to put it. Like he's seen so much already. He's former French Special Forces. Everyone knows the story. But like you could tell he's not phased by anything. Like you can
Mm.
never say that guy's scared of anybody. He's seen some crazy stuff in his day. So that's what I like about him the most. But he's got, yeah, you're right. He's got this aura, not afraid of anybody. He called out Dustin, right?
Mm.
And I'm like, I mean, everyone calls out Dustin, but he called out Dustin Poirier. It was everyone's like, yeah, yeah, I fight him. And I'm sure they were like, you want to fight him? Like, no, fuck that, right? But like Benoit Saint Denis is like, yo, let's go. When he called him out, I'm like, you need to make that fight. That would be a disgusting fight. Blood, ears broke, ears busted open. Everything's gonna be nuts.
It's going to
Like
be a war,
that's gotta be.
100%.
Oh, it's gonna be nuts. I can't wait to see it, dude. Because neither one's
Uh,
gonna back up.
no, and so I did some kind of like tape watching already over the
Yeah.
weekend, on my way to work and on my phone and stuff.
Hmm.
And I rewatched Benoit versus Zaleski dos Santos, and I just worry for him about volume coming
Yeah.
towards him because Dustin's going to put it on him. Can he
Yeah.
withstand it and come back? Because when he was fighting Zaleski, he couldn't cope with the volume of Zaleski dos Santos. Now, granted, Zaleski was on all sorts of performance enhancers, by the way. Uh,
Yeah.
Benoit talked about it at media day. He was like, "I don't see it as a loss because he popped like 2 months later." But
Yeah.
that fight is still a loss on Benoit's record.
Yeah.
He just he popped like way after it. So, um, but that was kind of Benoit's claim. But um, I just worry about the volume. That's why I'm shocked that Dustin Poirier is as big of an underdog as he is. I think he's like plus 200. I think it's just changed. I
Really.
think he's a 2-1 underdog, which feels a bit crazy to me. I'm picking Dustin
Yeah.
here, and I think he gets like a third round TKO. I think just the volume. I think he crumbles Benoit Saint Denis against the cage, kind of like the Justin Gaethje
Hmm.
finish.
Yeah, I think I don't know exactly how it's gonna go. I think it'll be a war. I think it goes decision. These two are gonna just battle
Mm.
to for all it's
Oh,
a
wait, it's
five
five
rounder, right?
rounds, isn't it?
Oh Jesus. That's
Oh,
different.
then I
I completely spaced.
and Dustin, I
Uh,
would say four or fifth round TKO.
all right, I'm picking Dustin to finish two and later in the rounds. We never seen Saint Denis in a main event, so we don't know how he does in 5 rounds. I'm sure his cardio will hold on, but you're right. The volume of striking, the power coming his way is going to be rough to deal with. And that being said, I guarantee Saint Denis is going to come in kicking like a psycho, just trying to look like Justin Gaethje out there with the kicks.
Mm,
Take advantage of what he saw in Utah with Dustin and Gaethje. So
yeah,
um, it'll be interesting, man. But I think, yeah, I forgot it was 5 rounds. Yeah, dude. I love Benoit Saint Denis, and I just
me
wish
too.
he would have gotten a main event before so we could see what he looks like. He could
That
surprise
fight,
us. You never know.
sorry, but that fight should be a main event. Um,
Yeah,
that I really wish that wasn't underneath Cheeto versus Sean O'Malley, even though it's such a great card.
yeah,
I
yeah,
want that to be a main event on like a big pay per view. Put that in
yeah.
Louisiana, like do a New Orleans card and put that because
Even
there
if you
would be
do it
some
in
French
France,
fans there for Benoit, and then
right?
Dustin being there. Oh, that would have been fun. But hey, Miami's playing home to it. Can't complain.
Yeah.
It's a good fight. Um, it's a great card. MVP Kevin Holland, J-
Okay, talk about
Gilbert
that one real
Burns,
quick
Jack Della.
because
Yeah,
that one bothers me a little bit. Not because it's a fight, but because people are actually thinking that MVP is going to spark Holland. I don't think that's going to happen at all.
no, I think MVP is past his peak. I wish he came over to the UFC sooner, but
Way
it is
sooner.
a very fun stylistic fight on paper.
Absolutely.
But I think Kevin Holland runs through, sadly.
I think Kevin's gonna play with him for a bit. Like he'll be like, all right, cool, let's go ahead and let's box a little bit. Let's strike because Kevin's nutty like that, right? So, and I think the UFC knows that. I think that's why they made that fight. But um, I think I got Kevin Holland too, probably later in the rounds, and so maybe like in third round, let's say. I think first 2 rounds are gonna strike and everything. Now that's where Kevin Holland get caught, 100%, because Kevin's psycho. He looked crazy, so he'll stand with him for a bit, and he could get caught by MVP. I think by that third round though, Kevin's gonna be like, all right, let's just win this thing, take him down, beat him up, ground and pound, whatever. Whether it's a finish or decision doesn't matter. But I just don't see how he beats Kevin Holland if Kevin um fights like he should. Now, again, it's Kevin Holland. All right. You never know. I mean, he agreed with Wonder Boy to stand with him for the most part, right? I know he shot it on him later
Mm.
on, but I think that's what's gonna happen again. I think it'll be fun. But MVP signing with the UFC, I was a little surprised. I'll say that much. I was a little surprised. I
Yeah.
thought he would have a much bigger platform at PFL. Because a lot of people are still asking who's MVP. They're trying to promote him like crazy. I mean, this fight night on Saturday, they were playing MVP videos over and over again, trying to get people to know him. So yeah,
Yeah, I mean, MVP is a fun fighter. I think people know his clips. I don't think people really know him as a fighter. Everyone's seen the flying knee breaking the skull of Cyborg and then throwing a Pokeball at
Santos,
him.
yeah,
Like that is the
yeah,
one of the wildest things.
I remember
But
people were so mad after that, dude. They were just like, "Oh, classless." And I'm like, "You tripping there in a fist fight, dude?"
yeah. Um, Gilbert Burns, Jack Della is a good fight. I think it's a good fight for Jack Della,
Yeah,
in terms of kind of getting him up the rankings. But I
yeah.
do think Gilbert Burns could definitely win. I'm not, I can't sleep on Gilbert Burns, but he
Hmm.
just didn't look very good against Bilal Muhammad. I know he hurt
Well,
his shoulder,
yeah,
um, but
yeah,
I know even before that, because I think it happened after like 3 minutes. But those first 3 minutes, he just looked out of it. He was too
yeah. So
active.
yeah, he was. No, so here's what I think is gonna happen. We're gonna find out what Gilbert Burns has left in this fight. Now I know you and I both got to talk to Daniel Williams, who fought at one championship not long ago.
Yeah,
Um, Daniel trained. I think we both asked him about Daniel training with Jack,
scrappy MMA.
and
Yeah,
yeah, he was telling me, he was like, he's a dog, that guy's crazy and all sorts of stuff. He goes, like, he was talking about the work ethic that Jack Della does, right? He has in the gym and everything. Not to say Gilbert Burns doesn't, but Jack like is on the come up and he's got to make it happen now. So he has to beat Gilbert Burns. But there's no ands, ifs, and buts. You lose to Gilbert Burns, or he loses to Gilbert Burns, he's gonna take 2, 3 steps back, right? And not because Gilbert's not a good opponent or good name to lose to, for example, but um or for lack of a better term, but you can't lose to a guy that's been there for that long, right? And then keep on rising. I just don't see it that
yeah,
way. So um, we're gonna find out what Gilbert Burns has left, and we're gonna see if Jack can take advantage of the situation and bump himself into title contention. Because that would be I mean, Gilbert's kind of gatekeeper at that point in this division.
yeah.
So yeah,
Another good fight, just before we wrap it up, is Piotr
yeah.
Jan versus Song Yudong. Piotr Jan on a tough skid.
Hmm.
Song Yudong is on a great run, so it's I think it's another gatekeeper kind of like turning of
Hmm.
the what? How do they say it? But you'll have to help me on this. I've spaced. I've been awake
Oh,
for way too
you're
long.
you're looking for the
Turning
yeah,
of the guard.
changing the guard.
Changing of the guard. Right.
Yeah, there you go.
I've been awake
Or
since
whatever it is.
3:45 in the morning. So,
Bro, hey,
um,
it's all good. We're in the same boat. English is my second language, so I screw up things all the time.
English is my first language, but I speak German all day, so it's become the
There you
second
go.
one.
There you go. Yeah, so someone described Piotr Jan's recent run and compared it. So I compared it, and they were like, "Man, this reminds me of somebody who," and they put up a picture of Henan Barrow. Um, like, and I was just like, "Yeah, but oh damn, oh that's
Yeah.
spot on, dude. I can't even get mad." I think we're gonna see Song Yadong making it, taking a step up. I don't know what happened with Piotr Jan, but man, like these guys, like
He looked
mentally, like
so
once
off against
he
Marab.
looked
Like,
he looked
I mean,
terrible.
Marab just does that to people. Um, but have you
Yeah,
seen the clip where Marab goes to handshake his Piotr's coaches and Piotr flinches like away from it because he thinks
he's
he had
like
like
throwing hands.
PTSD right after the fight. It was nuts.
Yeah, no, I think Piotr's kind of. I'm not saying Piotr's done, but I am saying we're never gonna see him in a title fight again. Um,
Yeah.
and I think Song Yadong's gonna take a step up against him. And again, it has nothing to do with the skill set. It has everything to do with the mental. And
Yeah.
as tough as Piotr Jan is, we all know he is and everything. It just it's such outside of the PED stuff with Henan Brow. We don't know what anyone's on, but I know Henan Brow was on the Brazilian supplements. But he it's such a similar to me fall that it's kind of wild to see.
No,
Um,
it's sad to see as well. I hate when this happens to fighters. I like again like Tony Ferguson. I just hope he
yeah,
retires, man. I don't want to see him fight again.
yeah. No,
It doesn't look
If
like
Piotr gets
he's gonna
sparked,
retire anytime soon.
no, he's not. But if Piotr gets sparked, hey, it's gonna be a hard fall. Like, we're gonna see him in the
If
prelims.
I think Piotr is smart though. I think if he were to take a loss, like a bad loss to Song Yudong, I think he'd be like, okay, yeah, I need to retire. I would hope at least because uh fighters, they don't recover from being 50, 43, um, being dominated for half a fight against Aljamain Sterling, and
Yeah,
like the mental side of losing your belt because you threw a knee when you didn't have to or weren't
yeah,
supposed to.
yep. I mean, you could ask Valentina about that. She did that spinning attack on and Alexa and got her back taken. You can ask Luke Rock, no, Chris Weidman
Chris Weidman,
doing this the spinning heel kick or whatever it was against a kickboxer, a better kickboxer than him, and it looked awkward to the point where I was like, oh, I don't think he throws that very often. Like
Yeah.
those kind of attacks where you veer from the game plan, those are like career killers.
And
Like they're
also,
career
Luke
enders.
Rockhold has some of the nastiest top game
Yeah.
in the world.
Once he got into
But
the
Chris
ground.
Weidman is still our boy. Let's be real, right? We all love Chris.
Yeah. You think he regrets his dad doing that repeatedly?
I don't know. I think he laughs at it. They've played it a couple times on the weigh-in show. I think RJ played it like I don't know if you've watched the weigh-in show, but RJ is like their producer when
Mhm.
he pops in a couple times.
Yeah.
And I think one time they were I think there was a UFC card around Father's Day and they were
Yeah.
all talking about like, being a parent and how tough it is. And I think RJ played the clip of and he's still my boy. And it's
Yeah.
so funny. You see Chris
It was
Weidman absolutely
funny.
lost him.
Yeah. No, it was funny to me that what's his name? Shoot. No. The UFC put that on Apple. I think the UFC put it on Apple. It might have been someone else. They put it on so on in the iTunes store or the whatever the Apple store to be able to buy it as a tone. So
Oh
my
no.
dumbass, of course, my dumbass got it. So
Is
my
it
phone was
still
going,
available?
it's still
I'll
my
I'll
boy.
buy it right
I
now.
don't know. I don't know. I had that's been years ago, and I'm assuming at some point the UFC probably like went like, hey, that's copyright. Do what the fuck, but because it wasn't the UFC, it
Mm.
was like some rando. Anyway, regardless, if I'm Chris Weidman, I'd be like, hey, after the second or third time, I'd be like, hey, Pop, come on, bro, no more of that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I don't think his dad's invited him any more fights.
yeah, I don't want to see Chris Weidman fight ever again, but he's got another one,
And God, it's Bruno
right?
Silva too in Atlantic City. Yeah. Bruno Silva is
I'm
one
not.
of those guys though. It's like he's good, but I don't know. He can't
Mhm.
put it all together sometimes.
Yeah, Bruno. Yeah, Bruno kind of just gets a little bit too in his bag.
Uh,
But I don't see how Chris Weidman's gonna win. So
no,
who
I
knows?
again he's one of those guys. I just hope he just pulls out and we move on.
I hope we were.
With
Yeah,
all
I
due
hope it
with
calls
all
it
due respect, like with
100%.
all due respect, like the same with Tony
There's a
Ferguson. I watched the Jackson pod. 'Cause I don't know if you've been watching that, but Rampage,
Jackson.
his
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah.
Um, and he had Tony on. Tony was like, "I'm not going to retire until the wheels fall off." I'm just like, um,
Yeah, you left the wheels back there, bro. Wheels have been gone.
the wheels
Jeez.
have been off since 2020, man.
Yeah, you gotta let it
For
go.
per
And honestly,
MMA Twitter
yeah,
hipsters, they've been off since like 2015, which is
yeah,
so insane.
it is crazy. No, here's the thing about the thing about Tony Ferguson that I like is his unwillingness to give up on himself. But here's the thing: what people need to understand is we're not asking them until you need to retire, because I say so. No. It's please, for the love of God, we hope you have a good rest of your life. Please call it. Like we don't want to see you get like have to see you on social media and not being able to feed yourself in a few years. Like, come on, dude. But that's what that is. Like, I'm
No,
never a fan of guys, people going like, he needs to retire, he needs to retire. I always say, man, I hope they retire, dude. I don't want to see him get beat up again. But if they don't, they don't.
there is
So,
one thing I like about Tony Fight Week, and it's he still somehow, even with what 7 losses in a row, he still fills me with the belief of he's gonna win, and it, and I, and the,
yeah.
as I get on, I'm like, oh, he looks in the best shape of his career. He's this, he's that.
Mhm.
Um, and honestly, I love the sound bites that come out of it. The last one pulls out a lizard. I'm just like, what are you doing? I think before the mic, no, it's before the Nate Diaz. He goes, "There's 2 muffins, right?" One muffin says to the other. I can't remember. And it's like the other one goes, "Holy shit, it's talking muffin!"
Yeah.
It's just really
Dude,
cracked me up. I don't know why.
who's the thing with that? Like Tony, I've covered a lot of Tony Ferguson media days and pressers. Okay, I enjoy watching Tony Ferguson talk to the people love him. He comes into the room and like at the pressers and all that, people freak out, weigh-ins, all that. Because he's a huge following. He's real. He's himself at all times. But
Mm.
he yeah, like every time he comes in, he just like every single time comes in, grabs a mic. What's up, fuckers? Puts the mic down, takes a chair, spins it backwards, sits down, just like that. And dude, and God help you if you ask him a stupid question, because or if you interrupt him, because you are gonna get put on a clip, bro. It's hilarious every time it happens. I've only asked him a question like out of like the 4 or 5 times I've asked him a question 3 times. Yeah. And it was like it was always something mild, nothing crazy, right? But then someone, someone will be like trying to ask him a question in between after I ask him, and he's still answering my question, and he'll be like, "Hey, excuse me, I'm still talking, brother. Okay, shut up." And then like
Yeah.
keeps going. I'm like, and I sit there and I'm just like, damn, who did he get that was hilarious? I don't know if I want to throw my homie's name out there, but I want to say it was
Name drop.
Chris.
Name drop. No.
I want to
That's
say it was
funny.
Chris de Santiago. Chris de Santiago was sitting next to me
Oh
at a meeting, I
no.
think, and I forgot what he
Oh, I love
asked.
Chris.
But yeah, Chris is a great kid, and I'm sitting there going like, oh fuck, and here comes Tony Ferguson, and he laid it on him, and then I think he was the one that interrupted, one of the ones that interrupted Tony, and then Tony's like, excuse me, I'm still talking, brother, and I'm sitting there like, damn, I'm like, all right, bro,
You've
but
just been made a clip.
yeah, he got made a clip of. So, but again, Chris, great guy. He's he was running MMA Island before, and anyone that doesn't know that
That was
story, oh
complicated.
my
That was a
god,
really bad situation. Um,
crazy. And now he's on
Now he's
MMA
with Sports
Islander.
Illustrated though.
He's also with SI. Yeah, he's still Islander, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so
I
he's
think he's
SI
just
now,
left
which is
Middle Easty though. I'm not sure though.
oh,
I'll have to.
okay.
I don't
Oh
know.
well,
Don't
SI.
quote me on that.
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
I think I don't
SI's
know.
SI's a dope spot though. SI people they're
Yeah.
like, oh, they let go of everybody. They fired everybody. Does not make them any lesser. They're just trying to refigure their business strategy for sure.
Mm.
But yeah, no, but yeah, I think that happened. So I don't know. Not to drag this thing on more and more, but
No,
like with
no,
Tony,
but
dude, it's
I love
like,
Tony, and I
yeah.
don't know if you use WhatsApp, but you have like the status thing, right?
Hmm.
On WhatsApp. For about 4 years, my status has been his quote about Ninja Turtles. It's like,
What?
it's a rat race, but I'm no rat. I'm a turtle. Ninja
No,
Turtle.
yeah.
Who's your favorite? I like
Yeah.
Michelangelo. And I had him on my WhatsApp set for years and no one gets it to the point where
No
this
one
last
understands it.
Christmas, my big brother, he got me Ninja Turtle socks.
He thought it was that
Uh,
about. Oh, that's funny.
And
That's
no, because he
hilarious,
was like
dude.
he liked it, and so I explained it to him. And he laughed, and
Hmm.
so now when I wear these socks, I think of Tony Ferguson. Um,
There you go.
but then if I'm sitting a certain way at work and my jeans come up and people just see my socks, they're like, "Why do you have Ninja Turtle socks on?" Thing is, I like fun socks. I also have
Yeah.
probably doesn't help me, but I have Patrick Star socks, like pink ones.
Yeah,
Um,
that's not gonna help you.
if it's laundry day, they'll come out
They
and
make their appearance.
you'll see me with pink socks.
I I
Maybe
got
I'll wear those
married.
to my next UFC event.
Do it. Why not? I got married in 2 years ago in December, the New Year's, so 2020, end of 2021. So technically 22, I guess. But anyway, I got married then, and I wore these socks that my daughter got me, and my wife got me. Yeah, I feel like an asshole. Somebody got me middle finger socks, and I want to say it was one of my daughters.
I love it.
I was like, oh fuck, and they were the only black socks I had that were clean. I needed black socks for for my black suit and all that. And I put on these. I was like, fuck, I put on these middle finger ones, and the videographer caught it. And so on our wedding video, you see me getting ready, and I'm pulling up my socks, and there's just two big middle fingers on the sides, and I'm like, and my wife looks at me, she's like, really? And I'm like, I did not know he was filming. I'm so sorry. It was so fun. But she was like, no, but that's you. Like you should do that. And I'm like, all right,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
I'm good with that. But and when my
Oh
mom saw
man.
our wedding video, when my mom saw my wedding video, she was just like, what the hell? She's a Mexican lady. She's like, very different, standards for stuff like that. And she's just like, the fuck, man. I'm like, that's all the socks that I had, and I was cleaning, shit. But I love those things. You definitely do the sock thing one day. Just to see what fighter sees it and they'll be like, what the fuck is this Patrick Star dude like doing? That's
And
hilarious.
I'm just like, well, my name's Patrick. That's about it.
Great icebreaker. Do that. There you
Yeah.
go.
What? Just turn up to the media table and just put my feet up on the table with the
What's up,
big
boys?
catching stars.
Yeah. What's up, boys? And then
Just take the
UFC
mic.
PR comes up to you like,
Just
hey.
Tony Ferguson, sup effers with sunglasses on.
He should do that. He should do something like
No,
that.
that's
That'd
a
be
one
funny. He
way. That's a
will.
one way street to get my credentials revoked. So,
Oh,
um,
immediately. You will be like, no, get the
just
fuck out.
dragged out. Just
Yeah.
dragged out by my ear.
You can get Ngannou's, Ngannou's coach or Cyril Gane's coach grab me like, "What's up, buddy? Nice socks." If you guys don't know that story, go check out Mr. Patrick McCoy's social media.
Have I told this story publicly?
I want to say you did.
I think I did. That
I think you
I
did
think I've
too.
done it on Instagram Live. So if you go through my page, I always
Okay.
repost my Instagram Live. So go find that.
Hmm.
because me and
There you
Eddie
go.
have shed tears over that story multiple times.
That's the best shit.
So
Jesus.
funny. Um, and I'm just glad he hasn't seen my tweets about him because I think Cyril should leave him, and I still stand by that. I think
Yeah,
Cyril will be
there you
better
go.
off in a different camp. So,
Yeah, for
Fernand, if
sure.
you're
Yeah,
watching, thanks for the pat on the back and thank you.
there you go.
But I think we can wrap up here. An hour and 20 minutes.
Oh,
I asked you if you had a half an hour of
damn,
time. I took about an hour longer. Um,
bro, I could do this. I could do this all day. Hey, hell,
I
real
I
quick.
can't. I have to go to bed in an hour.
Yeah, you gotta go to sleep. Yeah. No, years ago, me and Fred came up with an idea like we should do like a 24-hour stream. And we both
Ooh.
remember we're both dads and have kids, and it's like, nah, it's not gonna apply at all. So we haven't tried
Hey,
it
if
yet, but
if you
one of these
if
days I
you're
want to
doing
try
that
it.
though, I'll take the time off
Yeah.
work and I'll do it with you guys because I'm
I'll
I'm
let you know.
totally down.
If we ever do that, I'll let
Totally
you
down.
know. It'll
I
have to
need
be
I
one of
need
those
to
weekends that my wife goes out
I
of
need
town.
to I need to get on keyboard warriors because the last time I remember it was supposed to be after Strickland Duplessis, and I,
Yeah.
I had about a 24-hour day, and I wrote the article for
Yeah.
Strickland Duplessis, and I was so done, and I
You
and
passed
I
out,
texted, I
yeah.
was like, dude, I can't do it, man. I'm so
And I
done.
knew it. I knew it too. I was like, man, fuck that. I told him, I was like, there's no way he's gonna come on with us. All right, so just be ready for just be us too. And he was like, all right, cool, man. I'm drinking coffee and taking power energies, man. I got Red Bull. I'm good to go. He's in Ohio though, so it's like he's
Yeah,
only
yeah.
like a couple hours ahead of me.
Well, it was 7 a.m. by that point, and
Hmm.
I had reached a point where I just couldn't compute
No,
anymore.
I knew it, dude. Like I said, I got kids. I got a couple your age actually, so I know exactly how they will react. I'm like, this kid's not coming on. I'm not gonna give him shit for it either. Let him sleep, dude. He needs it.
Thing is, what I said last time, and I'll say it again next time.
There you go, dude. Sounds good.
um, ne- Hopefully that time I don't have a 24-hour day. If I have enough notice, I'm 100% down to come on.
Look, man, you're
So,
always welcome. All right, and
um,
we've kind of fallen off the wagon with our schedule because we're both incredibly busy. But we usually do, and I don't know if we'll do it this weekend, but we usually do like a post pay-per-view card thing. And I know that's gonna be
mm,
super late for you anyway. But if we're on and you see us on and shit, you send me a text. I'll send you a link. I don't care.
sounds good, man. But take
Cool.
care, Eddie. If you want to say any last things to the people watching, if they're still around after an hour and a
Yeah,
half,
yeah.
where can they find you? And what's going on in your life?
Just a shout out to my team, Cage Side Press. My guys are my guys, and that's my team is ride or die, straight up. So, and for people that that wonder what it's like to run this whole thing, it's a joy. It is a joy to deal with Gabriel Gonzalez. Again, I will say it over and over again. Gabriel Gonzalez, the best out there. Nobody's better, and y'all just don't know it yet. Working with him, Dylan Rush, Dylan Napoleon, Jay Anderson, one of my closest friends in this business as well, heading off to Miami to go cover that card. And even when I get, a ridiculous amount of text from a young guy who's tripping the fuck out because his credentials haven't arrived yet, he's got a trip coming up,
I
and I'm
wonder who
like,
that
relax,
was. I wonder
relax,
who that
yeah,
was.
yeah, he'll remain nameless. And so
Yeah.
those guys, like,
No
again, it's a
need to
joy.
name drop them.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's a joy. It's a joy to work with you guys and everything. And again, shout out to, like Jake Noker, all those guys and everything. But shout out to Jamie Theo, man. Like, um, I would love to say, like, I want to keep everyone on this team forever and everything, but there's opportunities in this game to take, and I will not knock anybody for trying to better themselves ever. So, shout out to Jamie, man. I'm super proud of
We're
that guy for
Jamie's
real.
biggest fans out here. 100%.
100%.
We're all behind him.
100%, dude. We'll always support.
100%, man. Take care. Maybe we'll do this again sometime. So
I'm
peace
always down,
out.
dude.